Okay, guys, in this video, we're going to be looking at example 6, and our goal is to graph a function using Desmos. Okay, and so we need to know exactly what needs to make it into our graph when we graph Desmos. We've got this function y equals x squared plus 10x minus 24. We're going to come over to Desmos. Okay, we're going to put that in, and that's what you see here on the screen is y equals x squared plus 10x minus 24. And this is pretty much what your screen's going to look like by default. Doesn't look like much of a parabola. And so we're going to need to adjust the settings. We can do that either through the X settings here, or since we have touch screens, we can use our mouse or our fingers to zoom out until we see that parabola. Okay, so I see the parabola now, and I'm interested in some of these points. So I'm going to click on the x-intercept here, and that'll put dots all over the graph. And so I've got an x-intercept at negative 12, 0. I've got a vertex. Hold on just a second. We lost that. Let's hide that. So negative 12, 0, negative 5, 49. 0, negative 24. And we know it's symmetric. So from x equals 0 to x equals negative 5 is right here. If we go negative 5 more, we'll get to negative 10. So we've got another point right here at negative 10, negative 24. And then we've got the last point at 2, 0. So we're going to take these points back over to our paper, and we're going to graph these. Now you'll notice I did not give you a coordinate grid on this. That's because the y-intercepts can be a little bit big on this, and the graph can go down a little bit far. But let's go ahead and start graphing. Now I know that we have an x-intercept at negative 12, 0. So I'm going to go almost all the way to the end. I'm going to put negative 12, 0. And then I've got another x-intercept at 2, 0. So I'm going to try and use my best sense of scale to put 2, 0 right about there. And then we have our vertex at negative 5. So negative 5 might be right around there. Negative 5 and negative 49. So we'll put a dot down here. Negative 5, comma, negative 49. This is negative 49. And then we have our y-intercept at 0, negative 24. So 0, negative 24, about halfway up from the vertex. And then I've got another one at 10, negative 24. Oh, sorry, that's negative 10, negative 24. So we've got these 5 dots here. We're going to go ahead and try our best to do a smooth curve going through all of these. Make sure that you go all the way through, that I can see the intercepts, and that the graph goes all the way up to the top of the coordinate plane. Okay, so that's going to be that one. Okay, again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points that we got through Desmos, and that's it. So let's go ahead and go on to part B. So part B is negative 5x squared minus x plus 4. So we're going to come back over to Desmos. We'll get rid of this graph, and we'll put this graph on there. We're going to zoom in, and I want to zoom in kind of as close as we can to be able to see this. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our intercepts. So we have negative 1, 0. We have 0.80. We have our y-intercept at 0, 4. And then you'll notice our vertex right above that at negative 0.1 and 4.05. And so those are going to be the 4 points that we're going to look at. We've got another point right here at negative 0.24 as well. Okay, so we've got our points. Negative 1, 0, 0.8, 0, 0, 4, negative 0.1, and 4.05, and finally negative 0.2 and 4. Okay, so those are going to be the points that we're going to graph here on the axes. Again, we can always go back and look at Desmos to see what our graph should look like. But if this is negative 1, I'm going to have a point here at negative 1, 0. And then if this is positive 1, I'm going to have a point just on the inside of positive 1 at 0.8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And have a point at 0, 4. And then my vertex is just above that. And then I've got a point just below that. Now let's go ahead and label our points. We have negative 1, 0. We have negative 0.24. We have negative 0.1, 4.05. We have 0, 4. And we have 0.80. And then a nice smooth curve going through those points. I don't love where my graph is lining up there, so I'm going to go ahead and just make a quick change. Move this down here just so that it's a little bit smoother of a curve. We'll move that over here. So again, we're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to make it look as good as possible. But what I'm looking for are those 5 points from Desmos. So, okay. Now it's your opportunity to try. Okay. We'll go ahead and zoom out. So these are your 2 equations to try it on. So use Desmos to graph the function. Again, label the vertex, x-intercepts, y-intercepts. Make sure you have about 5 points on there that you can show. Guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll talk in class.